And now for our feature presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Call in to join the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Welcome to Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. It's the six-man Dean Geronimo in the studio with Mark Lee, and we welcome you to yet another exciting episode of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, the month of July is here. You know what? We're bringing it in on a good note, and we're going to take it out on a good note. But today is the 1st of July, and I want to be the first one to say happy birthday to my partner in crime from NJ to NC. You know I'm in the studio, and I'm right here with Mark Lee. So, Mark, tell me what's good in your neck of the woods on your birthday, my brother.
Hey, you know, everything's kind of quiet. I don't mind having a quiet birthday because on the 4th of July, we'll be having the Eno Festival. Every Eno, I'm out there emceeing. I jokingly tell them that day 6 is for the birthday celebration for the nation's independence, but it's really just a big birthday party for me. They don't know that, but that's really all it is. It's just a big birthday party for me. All those musicians, all those activities that folks are doing, the drinks, the vendors, it's all really just a big birthday party for me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. What a way to celebrate your birthday, and you get to host the Festival of the Eno. So, hey, man, I know you're going to have a good time out there.
Oh, yeah, I'm always having a good time, always enjoying myself out there. But, you know, we had a real busy week this past week, some sad news that happened. So I'll talk about that in a second. But then we had on Wednesday, we had the people that had done the walk. Aya and them got me. She was busy, so she was not able to do the historical walk that deals with the history of Haiti. So her husband and yours truly were kind of the main people that were going around with some future doctors. That's right. They were in, I think some were in the OBGYN program and some were in family health. So we did 2 separate tours where we gave them kind of an overview of Black Wall Street. So I had the privilege of being kind of the lead in that and talking to those fine doctors, telling them about some of the things that we do even on this show and just around the Haiti and stuff like that. So that was real fun. So I did that last week. And then on Friday, there was a gospel play called Sudden Attack. So I got a chance to meet the director of that and saw that play and saw D. Wish, who I've known for a while. He's a local comedian, and he was one of the actors in that. And it was actually, didn't get to see all of the play, but from the parts that I was able to catch, it was definitely a hilarious and funny play that was in that gospel play kind of modus operandi. So that was definitely real fun to see that going on. Unfortunately, that same day, there was a local artist who, at a fairly young age, I think he's even younger than me, he might have been in his early 50s, he had passed away of a heart attack, so they did like a memorial for him. Olivia Gatewood and her daughter were some of the principals that helped put that memorial together. Small crowd of folks that came to honor his life, but, definitely they were there to honor this artist that was definitely known here in the area for having done a lot of work. Some of his artwork was very political in nature. Some dealt with things around definitely our kind of things that go on with our police, because I know one of the pieces features Trayvon. I think there were some other pieces, but I want to say he's of Latin background that might have dealt with some of the indigent things that are going on with their struggles and things of that nature in terms of the population of folks that are Latin and Native Americans and others that are some of the first people and everything. So definitely, that was a sad note. And then on Sunday, just had church service and everything. Saturday, I actually went to a rally. There was a rally for people that are involved in domestic work, trying to let them know that people were on their side and fighting for them. Because, a lot of times those people do not get paid hardly anything. It's a shame to say, but a lot of times they just don't get paid a lot of wages. I mean, one of the ladies that was talking about that she's living off of basically $7.50 an hour. And then, she's doing all this hard labor and work, $7.50 an hour, I believe is what she quoted. So she's doing all this work, this domestic work kind of stuff, home health kind of stuff. These are the people that were being honored and everything at this block party. So I said it was, free food, so get people in there to at least hear the message. But definitely it was just sad hearing this woman talk about trying to live off of $750, and then not just living off of one job. A lot of times those people have to work in a multitude of jobs, including their own, like just raising their own families and everything. So I had a chance to talk to at least one of them, and just hearing their story was definitely heartbreaking.
Indeed, man, golly. So they're basically robbing people for their time, their efforts, and their talents, and paying them next to nothing, meanwhile profiting everything. And see, that's what we worry about. All the other stuff, I've said it before, we always complain about what other countries are doing, and we need to go over there, and we need to force democracy on people. Meanwhile, we got people at home working for next to nothing and giving all that they have. So salute to all of those individuals who are out here making a difference. And a difference is not being made for you. We greatly appreciate you here at Straight Talk with Dean and Mark, because without y'all, man, a lot of things couldn't go around. And let's just be honest. Some people feel that you have to get a lot of education and you have to have a lot of money and you have to have all of these things, when actually the only thing you need is the ability to remain humble at all times and have a pleasant disposition. And things will happen for you. You probably ask some of those people and they'll tell you they are rich beyond measure, but for those who are materialistic, they wouldn't be able to understand that.
Yeah, they would not be able to understand that. I mean, a lot of those people, like you said, one of the woman that I did spend a lot of time talking to, she was talking about that she had basically been doing caregiving since she was a youngster. She remembers being raised in a very big family. So I want to say that she changed her first diaper or something when she was 5 or 6, and now she's got kids of her own, and even her own cousins and nephews are asking her to take care of their kids and everything, in addition to what she's doing in her own job, in addition to what she's doing with her own kids. But a lot of times those are just the kind of people that a lot of folks are out there. They're those kind of caregiving souls that I think she said it might have been either 5 or 6. It was either her mom or her grandma handed her the baby and was basically like, look, this is how you do it in terms of changing the diaper and everything like that. And, I'm 57. I just turned 57 today, and I'm not even going to lie. Somebody handed me a baby and asked me to try to change something, I'd be a little lost. I would figure it out, but I would be a little lost.
Hey, it takes some getting used to, but it's like riding a bicycle, man. Once you've done it, you ain't going to forget it.
I know that's right. And once it's done, then it's becomes something that you always know how to do and things of that nature. I'm wondering, on the world of sports, and then we'll get back to the news in a second, how are you feeling, or how are the people in your neck of the woods feeling about the fact that y'all have 2 major stars supposedly coming to the Brooklyn Nets? So, I understand that Durant has made that call, as well as looks like Kyrie's going to be heading that way. Of course, Durant will not play for a whole year, but I guess they're banking on 2021.
You know what? I know I've just watched some of the back and forth, on social media, and some people are excited, those who have been long-time Nets fans, even when they were suffering in Secaucus as New Jersey Nets, and then Jason Kidd came around, they had a little spark, and then they moved to, Brooklyn and kind of fell apart, and now they're trying to build it back up again. So, they said for all of those who were not fans, don't get on the bandwagon now, because it won't be there for you.
Yeah, they're saying that, if you weren't with us then, don't be trying to be a fair weather fan, because we know a lot of times if teams start rolling, then folks will become those fair weather fans, not with the team throughout the ups and the downs, but as soon as they start doing something, then they'll jump on the bandwagon. I'm wondering how many people are going to start picking out their Laker outfits now that they got LeBron and Anthony teaming up again. So, some people that might have put those shirts away might be trying to dig them back out of the closet and pretending like they never left the Lakers, even though they know good and well that as soon as the Lakers went through some hard times, they were not the biggest Laker fans. So I'm wondering how many of these fair weather fans are going to just kind of bounce back and pretend like they were with the Lakers all along.
Uh-huh. Well, it's interesting to see how many people all of a sudden are now Toronto Raptor fans. You know what I mean? All right, during the series, yes, I rooted for the underdog, but I don't have a basketball team. I stopped watching basketball way back, when the Knicks had John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, and Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley. That was the last time that I watched basketball. So, I'm glad the underdog won, but you won't see me rocking no Raptors stuff. That's just not me. Some people, they're going to say, yo, no, I was with them from the beginning. It's like, all right, what year was the team started? They couldn't even tell you that. You know what I mean? So and they'll tell you they've been day one fans. And you say, okay, well, when did the team go there? Oh, man, you're asking too many questions. You know what I mean? So it's funny to watch how people, 1 week they'll have this on, next week they'll have that on, and then they'll look at you like, so what's your problem?
Yeah, exactly. And then you got folks that are sitting over there, because of something that somebody said or did not say, bragging about or not bragging about the one or two of the candidates. I've heard people, definitely making some accusations that, maybe Kamala shouldn't have jumped on Joe Biden the way that she did in the debate. So I guess the folks are trying to come to Mr. Biden's defense and everything. And then, of course, we've already got fake sites that are popping up, and people are already bringing up the whole thing about whether she's actually a U.S. citizen or not, because her, I believe it's her mom is, I want to say she's like one of the Asian countries, and her dad is from Jamaica. So, they're trying to bring up that whole kind of argument like they did with Barack Obama because of his Kenyan roots. So now they're trying to bring up similar things to Kamala Harris. And, a lot of people are also looking at what, they're already writing off Pete, even though I thought Pete actually handled it well when he handled the whole thing with the police and what happened in his hometown. Because he's right. You cannot just automatically go and fire a person. You got to, wait. It's like most jobs. You got to wait until the investigation is done and all the proof is in. I mean, you just can't, go and wait until because you think that that's what happened. You still got to wait for the final report to come in before you can go ahead and fire him. Now, if they do find out that all this happened and he sits on his hands, then I think the whole campaign might be toast. But I do think that he handled it well in terms of, pointing out the fact that he does have to wait for these reports to come in, and he just can't, rush to judgment. I mean, we always complain about people rushing to judgment on a lot of things, and we can't have our leaders rushing to judgment either.
You know what, though? A lot of times we lead with emotion, and leading with emotion gets you nowhere. And even in cases where, some people are like, oh, well, Kamala Harris is black, so I'm voting for her. Well, not so fast. You know what I mean? Okay, let's talk about that time when you were a prosecutor and those individuals where you didn't have to prosecute, but you did. Let's explain those. I need you to explain those, because if you're going to railroad people when you on a small step, imagine when you get some more power. I'm just thinking logically, a lot of people are not going to like it. Joe Biden, how do you feel now? How do you feel now that crime bill that y'all authored, even though everybody signed it, to include Barack Obama when he was in the Senate? You know what I mean? So how do you feel now, seeing that the after effect basically started mass incarceration? I need you to answer that question. Before I judge you completely, I need you to answer that question and tell me how, you can sit there, don't show up at the churches. That's not going to do us any damn good, because a lot of us don't go to church. So don't sit there and smile, kiki, and caca. And I'm talking about all the candidates, Republican or Democrat. Don't come in and feed me BS and tell me how great this country is. I've been here all my life. I don't need you to point the things out to me that some of them I agree with and some of them I don't. You tell me how the everyday middle-class American is going to be able to live comfortably during your administration, or will there be the same old, the backroom deals, the backstabbing, and all of that stuff going on? Would it be business as usual, or are you actually going to try to do something? And it doesn't have to be specifically for black people. It could be for any people, man, because, you just hop on one thing. Yeah, I'm proud to be black, but I'm also sensible, too, and know that everybody that looks